Life's greatest truths unfold after 70. Turning 70 is more than just a milestone, it's a revelation. At this age, life's priorities become clearer, and the things that once consumed our time and energy often lose their meaning. We begin to see what truly matters and recognize what no longer deserves our attention. This is the time to let go of old burdens and embrace the freedom of living authentically. Here are 8 things that no longer make sense after 70, insights that can lead to a life filled with clarity, peace, and purpose. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. 1. Chasing material wealth. At 70, the realization often dawns that the pursuit of material wealth, which may have consumed so much of our earlier years, no longer holds the same significance. The houses, cars, and possessions that once symbolized success and security begin to feel less like achievements and more like burdens. Chasing material wealth no longer makes sense because life's most meaningful moments are measured not by what we own, but by the connections we nurture and the memories we create. In the prime of life, accumulating wealth may have seemed essential for providing for a family, achieving career goals, or preparing for the future. Yet now, with decades of perspective, it becomes clear that the true treasures are found in experiences, not possessions. A walk in the park, the laughter of grandchildren, or a heartfelt conversation with a lifelong friend holds far greater value than any material possession ever could. Possessions, no matter how luxurious or plentiful, cannot fill the emotional and spiritual needs that come to the forefront in our later years. A comfortable home is a blessing, but beyond comfort, the accumulation of things can feel overwhelming. Simplifying our lives, decluttering, and focusing on what truly brings us joy becomes a profound act of liberation. It allows us to create space, both physically and emotionally, for what really matters. More importantly, as we age, we come to see that wealth is not measured by what we have but by what we give and share. The richness of a life well lived lies in the generosity of spirit, the kindness extended to others, and the love we both give and receive. These are the legacies that endure long after material possessions fade. Chasing material wealth also detracts from the time we have left to spend on things that truly nourish the soul. Time is the most precious resource, and it's finite at this stage. Our focus naturally shifts from acquiring to appreciating, from striving to savoring. Whether it's enjoying a simple meal with loved ones, revisiting old memories, or discovering new passions, these are the moments that add depth and meaning to life. Ultimately, chasing material wealth after 70 doesn't make sense because the race for more has already been run. Now is the time to focus on what truly matters: relationships, experiences, and the inner peace that comes from knowing that we have enough. Life's greatest riches are not stored in bank accounts or possessions. They are found in the love we give, the memories we cherish, and the contentment of living authentically and purposefully. 2. Worrying about others' opinions. At 70, life has taught us countless lessons, and one of the most liberating truths is that the weight of others' opinions holds far less power than we once believed. Worrying about what others think of us is a habit that often lingers from youth when societal expectations and external validation seemed crucial. But as the years unfold, it becomes clear that living authentically, free from the constraints of others' judgments, is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves. The need for approval can feel deeply ingrained. We've spent decades trying to meet expectations at work, in our families, and in social circles. Perhaps we've dressed a certain way, avoided saying what we truly felt, or hesitated to pursue our dreams because of how we might be perceived. These compromises, while often well-intentioned, chip away at our individuality. At this stage, we owe it to ourselves to shed that burden and live in a way that reflects our true selves. Worrying about others' opinions not only limits our freedom but also distracts us from what truly matters. People's judgments, more often than not, are fleeting and superficial. We realize that most people are too caught up in their own lives to dwell on our choices, and even when judgments are made, they rarely define us as deeply as we fear. What truly shapes us is how we see ourselves, our values, our joy, and the quiet confidence of living in alignment with our own truths. Living authentically means embracing who we are, imperfections and all. It's about finding comfort in the clothes we love, pursuing the hobbies that bring us joy, and speaking our minds with clarity and kindness. It's about letting go of the need to impress and instead focusing on what brings us fulfillment. This authenticity is not just freeing, it's inspiring. When we live unapologetically, we encourage others, especially younger generations, to do the same. At 70, we've earned the right to prioritize our happiness and well-being over the fleeting opinions of others. Whether it's taking up a new hobby, traveling to places we've always dreamed of, or simply sitting quietly with a book, every choice we make should be rooted in what brings us peace and joy. We've spent enough time living for others. Now is the time to live for ourselves. Worrying about others' opinions no longer makes sense because it adds no value to our lives. Instead, it detracts from the precious moments we have left to enjoy. The only opinion that truly matters is the one we hold about ourselves, one that reflects self-respect, self-love, and the courage to live authentically. By letting go of these worries, we open the door to a life of freedom, contentment, and genuine happiness. 3. Ignoring your health. At 70, the body becomes both a testament to the life we've lived and a reminder of the care it still requires. Over the years, it has carried us through challenges, joys, and countless moments of living, and now it asks for our attention more than ever. Ignoring your health at this stage doesn't make sense because it directly affects the quality of the life we can still enjoy. Perhaps more importantly, it is an act of honoring the gift of time we've been given. For much of life, we may have taken our health for granted, pushing through aches, skipping doctor visits, or ignoring signs of fatigue. But now, the smallest decisions about how we treat our bodies can make the difference between thriving and merely enduring. A balanced diet, regular movement, and routine health checkups are not just suggestions, they are lifelines, tools that help us maintain independence and vitality. Caring for our health is not about chasing youth or perfection, it's about preserving the ability to enjoy the things we love, whether it's walking through a park, playing with grandchildren, or simply rising each morning without pain. Good health becomes the foundation for a fulfilling life. Listening to our bodies and responding with care is not a chore. It is an act of self-respect and gratitude for the life we have. Equally important is mental and emotional health. At 70, the mind needs just as much care as the body. Staying engaged through reading, puzzles, learning new skills, or meaningful conversations keeps our minds sharp and our spirits vibrant. Emotional health thrives on connections with others, whether through family, friends, or community. Isolation and neglect of our mental well-being can lead to unnecessary suffering, while nurturing these aspects helps us find joy and resilience. Neglecting health also impacts the people who care about us. Our well-being is not just our own, it's intertwined with the lives of those who love us. Taking care of ourselves allows us to remain active participants in their lives, sharing in their milestones and joys for as long as possible. It is a way of saying, I value our time together enough to prioritize my health. At 70, health is not about avoiding the inevitable changes that come with age, it's about making the most of what we have. Each step, each mindful choice, is an investment in a life well lived. Ignoring your health no longer makes sense because it is through caring for ourselves that we unlock the potential for more vibrant days, meaningful connections, and moments of pure, unfiltered joy. This care is not just about adding years to life, but about adding life to those years, ensuring that every day is one we can embrace with gratitude and strength. 4. Holding grudges. At 70, life has gifted us with a perspective that only time can bring, a perspective that shows us the true cost of holding on to grudges. Resentments, like stones carried in our hearts, weigh us down and rob us of the peace and joy we deserve. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is not about excusing the wrongs done to us, it is about freeing ourselves from the heavy chains of anger and pain. Holding grudges no longer makes sense because it prevents us from fully embracing the beauty and serenity of life in our later years. Over the decades, we've all faced moments of hurt or betrayal. These wounds may have been inflicted by others or even by ourselves through regret or unkind choices. But as we look back, we realize that holding on to those grievances only deepened the pain. The energy spent reliving old hurts could have been used to nurture love, build relationships, and create memories. Forgiveness doesn't erase the past, but it allows us to move forward unburdened. Forgiving others is not an act of weakness, it is an act of strength and self-care. It is choosing to prioritize our mental and emotional well-being over the bitterness that eats away at us. Letting go of grudges is like setting down a heavy bag we've carried for far too long. It brings relief, lightness, and space to breathe. It is a quiet but profound act of reclaiming our happiness and peace. Equally important is forgiving ourselves. At 70, it's easy to look back on life with a critical eye, dwelling on mistakes or missed opportunities. But we must remember that we are only human, and life is a journey of learning. Self-forgiveness is a gift we give to ourselves in acknowledgement that we did the best we could with what we knew at the time. By offering ourselves the grace of forgiveness, we allow healing to take root and self-compassion to flourish. Letting go of grudges also opens the door to reconciliation and renewal. A relationship strained by years of silence or misunderstanding can find new life through a simple act of reaching out, whether it's a sibling, an old friend, or even a distant relative. Reconnecting can bring closure, understanding, and sometimes even joy. These moments of mended connection can be among the most meaningful experiences of our later years. Ultimately, holding grudges doesn't make sense because life is far too short and precious to carry the weight of old wounds. Every day is an opportunity to choose peace over pain, understanding over anger, and love over resentment. By releasing grudges, we open ourselves to the fullness of life, the richness of connection, and the tranquility of a heart that is truly free. Forgiveness, both for others and ourselves, is not just a choice, it is a gift, one that allows us to step into the present moment with lightness, gratitude, and an open heart. 5. Avoiding technology. At 70, the world around us often feels like it's moving faster than ever. New gadgets, apps, and devices emerge every day, and the pace of change can be overwhelming. Yet avoiding technology at this stage in life no longer makes sense. Technology, far from being an intimidating barrier, is a bridge, one that can connect us to loved ones, empower us with knowledge, and enrich our daily lives in ways we may not yet imagine. It's natural to feel hesitant about embracing something unfamiliar, especially when it seems so far removed from the world we grew up in. We come from a time of handwritten letters and face-to-face conversations, where the simplicity of connection felt more personal and grounded. But while technology may seem cold or impersonal, its potential to deepen relationships and expand opportunities is undeniable. It's not about replacing old ways but about enhancing the possibilities of the present. The most profound gift technology offers is connection. Through a video call, we can see the faces of grandchildren who live miles away, hear their laughter, and share in their lives as if they were right in front of us. Social media, when used thoughtfully, can help us stay in touch with friends from the past and connect with new communities that share our interests. These tools bring the world closer, making it possible to remain active participants in the lives of those we care about, no matter the distance. Beyond connection, technology simplifies tasks that once felt burdensome. From ordering groceries online to setting reminders for medication, digital tools make everyday life easier and more manageable. Learning to use these tools may feel challenging at first, but with patience and practice, they become second nature. Seeking help from younger family members or local classes designed for seniors can make the process both enjoyable and empowering. Embracing technology also opens doors to learning and exploration. Want to travel the world without leaving your chair? Virtual tours can take you to the pyramids of Egypt or the galleries of the Louvre. Curious about a hobby? Online tutorials can teach you everything from knitting to playing the guitar. The internet is a treasure trove of knowledge waiting to be explored. By stepping into this digital realm, we remind ourselves that growth and curiosity are lifelong companions. Avoiding technology is not just about missing out on convenience, it's about missing out on the opportunity to remain engaged with a rapidly changing world. It's about letting go of the fear of getting it wrong and embracing the joy of learning something new. At 70, we have the wisdom to know that adaptability is a strength, not a weakness, and that trying is always more rewarding than staying stuck. Avoiding technology doesn't make sense because it is not an obstacle, it's a tool that can help us stay connected, independent, and engaged. By embracing it with an open mind and heart, we not only enhance our lives but also reaffirm our place in a world that continues to evolve. Technology is not about leaving the past behind, it's about enriching the present and making the future a little brighter. 6. Neglecting personal passions. At 70, life offers us the extraordinary gift of time to rediscover, nurture, and celebrate the passions that make our hearts sing. Yet, so often we neglect these joys, caught in the mistaken belief that it's too late, or that our moment has passed. Neglecting personal passions doesn't make sense because they are the essence of who we are, the thread of individuality that weaves richness into our days. Our passions are not trivial, they are sacred. They remind us of the dreams we once held, the talents we've nurtured, and the simple things that bring us joy. They might be the paintbrush we haven't touched in years, the garden waiting to bloom under our care, or the book we've always wanted to write. These pursuits are not just hobbies, they are reflections of our soul, a way to reconnect with our truest selves. In our younger years, responsibilities often took precedence. Careers, family obligations, and the demands of daily life left little room for indulgence in personal passions. But now, with those duties largely behind us, the time is ripe to revisit what lights our inner fire. Pursuing these interests is not about skill or accomplishment, it's about the joy of the process, the act of creating, exploring, and learning. Engaging with our passions also has profound benefits for our emotional and mental well-being. A simple act of creativity or focus can calm the mind, reduce stress, and bring a sense of accomplishment. It keeps us curious, engaged, and vibrant. Passions provide structure to our days and a sense of purpose that transcends age. They remind us that life is not just about existing, it's about thriving. Moreover, our passions have the power to connect us with others. Whether it's joining a local art class, sharing recipes at a community gathering, or participating in a volunteer project, these activities create opportunities for bonding. They allow us to share our gifts and learn from others, fostering relationships that enrich both our lives and the lives of those around us. Neglecting personal passions is, in many ways, a disservice to the life we've lived and the wisdom we've gained. It is an opportunity to continue growing, discovering, and celebrating the beauty of existence. At 70, it's not about looking back with regret at what wasn't done, it's about looking forward to what's still possible. Passions remind us that we are alive, capable, and filled with potential. Living fully means embracing the things that make us come alive, no matter how small or how late we start. Neglecting personal passions doesn't make sense because they are the keys to a life filled with meaning, purpose, and joy, a life that honors all we've been and all we continue to become. 7. Living in isolation. At 70, the pull towards solitude can be strong. Whether by choice or circumstance, as friends move away, loved ones pass on, and our daily routines shift, isolation may creep into our lives quietly, like an uninvited guest. But living in isolation doesn't make sense, not because we lack the ability to be alone, but because connection is the lifeblood of our humanity. It is through relationships that we continue to grow, find meaning, and truly feel alive. Isolation can be a silent thief, robbing us of the simple joys that human interaction brings. A shared conversation, a heartfelt laugh, or even a passing smile can transform an ordinary day into something extraordinary. When we withdraw from others, we risk losing these moments of connection, moments that remind us we are not alone in the world. While solitude can be peaceful, prolonged isolation can lead to feelings of sadness, loneliness, and even physical decline. Connection is not merely about filling our time, it's about filling our hearts. Relationships, no matter how simple or profound, offer companionship, support, and understanding. Whether it's sharing memories with a lifelong friend, building new bonds through a club or class, or volunteering to help those in need, these interactions nurture the soul. They remind us that our presence matters, that our stories and wisdom have value. Reaching out for connection can feel difficult, especially if we've grown accustomed to being alone or if the fear of rejection looms large. But the truth is, people are often just as eager for connection as we are. A neighbor might welcome a friendly chat, a local group might embrace a new member, or a family member might be waiting for the right moment to reach out. Taking the first step requires courage, but it's a step toward a richer, more connected life. Technology, too, can be a bridge to connection. Video calls allow us to see the faces of loved ones, no matter the distance. Online communities provide spaces to share interests and experiences. Far from replacing real-world interactions, these tools expand the possibilities for connection, ensuring we stay engaged and included. Living in isolation also overlooks the profound impact we can have on others. Our presence, our stories, and our wisdom are gifts to those around us. Sharing them with younger generations, friends, or community members can create bonds that transcend age and time. We are never too old to inspire, to mentor, or to love. At 70, living in isolation doesn't make sense because life is meant to be shared. Connection brings warmth, purpose, and joy, elements that make each day brighter and each challenge easier to bear. We are not islands. We are part of a vast interconnected web of humanity. By stepping out of isolation and into connection, we open ourselves to the endless beauty of shared lives and shared hearts. 8. Fearing change. At 70, the inevitability of change becomes a constant companion, whether we welcome it or not. Life, in its unceasing rhythm, transforms everything around us, our relationships, our routines, our very selves. Fearing change may feel natural, especially as we grow older and the familiar becomes our safe haven, but it no longer serves us. Embracing change is what allows us to live fully, savoring each moment with courage and grace. Change has always been a silent teacher in our lives. It taught us resilience when we faced losses, adaptability when we started over, and hope when we discovered new beginnings. Reflecting on those moments, we see that every challenge was an opportunity to grow stronger, to find deeper meaning, and to connect more profoundly with ourselves and others. Why should this stage of life be any different? Even now, change holds the promise of wisdom and renewal. Yet the fear of change often whispers louder in our later years. It may feel like we have less time to adjust or that the unknown is a risk we can't afford. But this fear can rob us of the joy and potential waiting on the other side. A new chapter, even one that comes with challenges, offers the chance to discover parts of ourselves we never knew existed. It is in these transitions that we often find our greatest strength and clarity. Consider how embracing change can bring unexpected gifts. Downsizing a home, while bittersweet, can free us from the weight of possessions and create space for simpler, more meaningful living. Shifting to new routines can introduce healthier habits, while stepping into a new community or activity can bring fresh connections and purpose. Even as our bodies change, adapting to those realities allows us to nurture our well-being and extend the vitality we cherish. Fearing change also denies us the opportunity to influence how we navigate it. When we approach life's transitions with an open heart, we take control of our story. Instead of being passive observers, we become active participants in shaping the future. This agency brings with it a sense of accomplishment and peace, a recognition that even as the world changes, we remain capable and empowered. At 70, fearing change doesn't make sense because it is through change that life continues to surprise and enrich us. Change, though unsettling, is not an ending, it's a doorway to new experiences, relationships, and joys. It's a reminder that we are alive, capable of adapting, and open to the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. Embrace change, for it is the essence of life itself, a journey that never ceases to inspire and transform us. Embracing the beauty of life's final chapters. At 70, life takes on a new clarity, a quieter but more profound rhythm. The things that once seemed so urgent, chasing material wealth, worrying about others' opinions, neglecting health, holding grudges, avoiding technology, disregarding passions, living in isolation, or fearing change, begin to reveal themselves as distractions from what truly matters. This stage of life, rich with experience and perspective, offers us the chance to live more intentionally, more authentically, and more meaningfully. The years behind us have taught us resilience, compassion, and wisdom. They've shown us that life is not measured by what we achieve or accumulate, but by how deeply we connect, how fully we embrace each moment, and how generously we share our love and understanding with others. Now, more than ever, is the time to focus on the present, to live not for the expectations of the world, but for the joy and peace that come from being true to ourselves. Letting go of what no longer serves us is not a loss, it's a liberation. It creates space for gratitude, for reflection, and for the things that genuinely enrich our lives. The beauty of this stage is not in trying to hold on to the past, but in embracing the opportunities still before us, to learn, to grow, to forgive, and to love. Life at 70 and beyond is not about ending, it is about rediscovery. It's about stepping into the freedom that comes with knowing who we are and what truly matters. It's about cherishing the people and passions that bring light into our days and creating a legacy of kindness, wisdom, and love that will ripple long after we are gone. The journey of life doesn't stop at 70, it deepens. And in this depth lies the profound realization that every moment, every connection, every small joy is a treasure. The chapters ahead may be fewer, but they hold the potential to be the most meaningful yet. Live them boldly, live them lovingly, and most of all, live them with the wisdom and grace that only the richness of time can bring. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.